Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to break down a really cool economic idea that's all about a challenge you face every single day. How do you make the best possible choices with the money you've got? I mean, think about it. It's a question that's always there. Whether you're grabbing a coffee, deciding on lunch, or even choosing a new phone, you're constantly making these decisions. But how do you land on the one choice that gives you the most possible satisfaction? At its heart, this is the fundamental problem of economics. We all want a million things, but our resources, our money, our time are limited. So today, we're going to explore the pretty elegant model economists use to solve this universal puzzle. All right, so let's dive into our first section. We're going to define the ultimate goal for any of us when we're trying to navigate this world of endless options. This quote really nails it, but what does it mean in plain English? Well, it's all about getting the most happiness, or what economists call utility, that you possibly can with the cash you have on hand. So this perfect point, this sweet spot of maximum satisfaction, is what economists call consumer equilibrium. And to figure out how to find it, we're going to need two key tools from the economist's toolkit. Okay, so let's grab our first tool. The best way to think about this is that we're creating a visual map of your personal preferences, a map of what actually makes you happy. Now, the key word here is indifference. It sounds a little boring, but it's crucial. It just means that any combination of goods that falls along this specific curve would make you equally happy. No single point is better or worse than another, as long as it's on the same curve. So if you look at this image, you've got two options. Combination A gives you a lot of commodity Y and just a little bit of commodity X. Combination B is the other way around. But because they're both on the same curve, your overall satisfaction level is exactly the same. You're literally indifferent between the two. Now, these curves aren't just random squiggles. They follow some very logical rules. They slope downwards because, well, if you get more of one thing, you have to give up some of the other to stay equally happy, right? It's a trade-off. They're bowed inward because we tend to prefer variety. And most importantly, higher curves mean more happiness, and they can never, ever cross. That would be a logical contradiction, kind of like saying you're in two places at once. So here's where it gets really interesting. We don't just have one of these curves. We have a whole collection of them. This is what we call an indifference map. And you can think of it just like a topographical map of a mountain. Climbing to a higher curve, from IC1 to IC2 to IC3, is like climbing higher up the mountain to a better view. You're reaching a higher level of happiness. Your goal's always to get to the highest point possible. Okay, so a map of our desires is a great start, but now we have to get real. And that brings us to our second, much simpler tool, the budget line. The budget line is your hard constraint. It's pretty much exactly what it sounds like. It's a simple mathematical line that shows all the different combinations of stuff you can actually afford to buy. Yeah, think of it as a clear boundary. It's a straight line that neatly separates all the bundles of goods you can afford from all the ones you can't. Your perfect choice has to be somewhere on or below this line. Anything above it is, for now, just a dream. So now for the magic. We're going to bring our two tools together, our map of what we want and our line of what we can have, to find that one perfect spot. First up, here's our indifference map again. This represents all of our preferences, all our desires. Remember, the goal is to climb as high up this happiness hill as we possibly can. And now, let's bring in that dose of reality. We overlay our budget line right on top of our map. This line basically fences off the part of the map that is actually accessible to us. And there it is, the solution. The consumer's sweet spot is right where the budget line just gently touches the highest possible happiness curve it can reach. See, any curve higher than IC2, like IC3, is completely unaffordable. And any point on a lower curve, like IC1, sure, it's affordable, but you could do better. You'd be leaving happiness on the table. So that single point of contact, that's the equilibrium. It's the absolute most happiness you can get for your money. Now, for this sweet spot to be truly the best, two specific conditions have to be met. First, that tangency. The lines have to just touch. And second, the curve has to be convex or bowed inward. This just makes sure we're actually at the top of our happiness hill and not accidentally stuck in a valley. So what does this mean mathematically? Well, it's actually pretty intuitive. It means that at this perfect spot, the rate at which you are personally willing to trade one good for another, that's your personal trade-off, is exactly equal to the rate at which the market forces you to trade them, based on their prices. It's where your personal valuation perfectly aligns with the market's reality. Okay, I know what you might be thinking. This is a neat theory, but does it really matter? Well, this framework of curves and lines might seem abstract, but it has some incredibly powerful applications in the real world. For one, the very shape of the indifference curves can tell us about the relationship between two products. For perfect substitutes, like two different brands of the same soda, the curves are straight lines. For perfect complements, things you need in a pair, like left and right shoes, the curves are sharp L shapes. And this one concept is a real workhorse for economists. Policymakers use it to predict how a new tax might affect people's choices and their overall happiness. It also helps model huge personal decisions, like a worker's choice between earning more money or having more free time. In fact, this whole framework is the foundation for deriving the demand curves that are fundamental to all of economics. So that's consumer equilibrium. It's a powerful reminder that every single choice we make is really a negotiation between our infinite desires and our limited reality, all in the quiet pursuit of our own personal sweet spot. The next time you're deciding what to buy, think about that tangency point. You might just be a better economist than you think.